Okay, folks, if you have not caught my video, it's called Please Watch This Video Before You Move to or Talk About South Africa Reality Check. I may change the name, so what I'll do for you is I'll stick the link to the full video in the description. In this section, I spoke about what you can learn about race from South Africans. Okay, that's what I spoke about here. Frankly, the way that I feel the world is robbing itself by its own Afrophobia because it refuses to realize that there is a country that can teach you more about race than you are taught in your own country. I know of no country that's how equal in terms of dealing with this. And the sad part is, we're not perfect. We're not even that good. But the bar is so low on this planet that you guys are missing out on the best right now. We may not be the most ideal, but we're the best the world has to offer. So in this video, I was quite ranty. If you haven't seen it from the beginning, you're going to feel like you're being attacked. So what I've done is I've slowed it down. Okay, I've slowed it down to 75%. Do try and listen. You should probably go and listen to the whole video in context. Okay, this is out of context, but fuck it. People disrespect South Africans anyway. Please rather do that on our terms. And here we go.
Should be our idea of South Africa is much better than your lazy ideas. Much better. Now have the sense to recognize that, have the sense to learn from us, because there are governments that hire South Africans to take them through a truth and reconciliation process. Ours was not perfect. Do you know why? Because when people do the first thing, it's not perfect. What else does this patronizing boop say? Let me just actually make me snap. Okay, then it says, no one hates decent, selflessly serving leader regarding color or race. That's exactly what South Africans are saying. Now you're acting like it was your homework. We're saying it with our actions. Don't patronize us. But what is your justification? Our justification is that we know better how to be South African than you. What is your justification for questioning us on how we run our home? It's not just obsessed with some beliefs blacks can't lead, they are corrupt, greedy. That is you that are saying it. Otherwise, why would you flock here? This is undermining yourself. You are undermining South Africans as an African. We are all survivors of brutality, colonization. Yes, we know we passed matric. Okay? We passed. Do I have to go show you receipts of how much we have to go learn? Go search it for yourself. You have Google, don't you? You have Google at home. Go and search it on sahistory.org and you will see .org.za. You will see how much we have learned about the race of the diaspora. You should see just the poems I have to teach my kids. Just the poems from all across the diaspora. Due to these vicious predators, again, the vicious predators.
So I carry on to speak here about the spirit of fear, where you are so paranoid about racism that you're looking for a racist behind every corner, even when it's not there. I speak here about how it cost us lives. I'm going to make another video about this too.
Refused to believe that HIV causes AIDS. He believed that it was just a thing that white people made up about black people. He was coming from a spirit of fear. The spirit of fear you want us to go into. And this little boy was asking, can you give ARVs? He died at 12. Can you please give ARVs to mothers dying of AIDS? His parents, his adopted mom, ran a house. And then, listen to him.
We are normal. We are human beings. We can walk. We can talk. We are deep, just like everyone else. We are all the same.
In a spirit of fear around blackness and whiteness, our president and his whole cabinet walked out of that. But it's not you that had to sit at Nkosi Johnson's bed when he died. It is not you that had to sit at this deathbed with this HIV AIDS positive child. It is the South Africans that you dare to call stupid. The South Africans that you patronize. It is not you that had to say goodbye and smile bravely. The ones you know better than, right? It is not you in the trenches. When South Africa was unwilling to talk about AIDS because of the stigma around race, it was not you that had to watch this little boy and his mom, his adopted mom, bravely destigmatize it. It was not you.
Adopt him, Gail Johnson, and the two of them together would start a shoestring shelter for mothers with AIDS and their children. They called it Nkosi's Haven.
Nkosi, the founder, along with his mom Gail, of Nkosi's Haven, gave that speech that you saw earlier in front of the President of the Republic of South Africa. And because he refused to believe that HIV causes AIDS, he believed that it was just something white people were making up. He and his whole cabinet walked away from this bed of this little boy, because of pseudo pro-blackness. Millions of South Africans, the majority of them black, died. I personally have lost 5 family members to the AIDS epidemic that we lived through past apartheid, which is why we now have the most sophisticated epidemiological infrastructure in the world, and why the world should have listened to us during COVID, because we've been through that and the TB epidemic that was caused. But carry on. Let's learn what happens when you play with the spirit of racism and you think that it's fun to just demonize people. You think that what you're doing is right when you just scapegoat somebody and you don't actually check the substance. You think that you are wise. This is the path you could go down. Beware.
For mothers with AIDS and their children. They called it Nkosi's Haven.
Before, this is a small house. And it's not fair to the other mothers who are HIV. They are dying.
The fear of racism lost the racial spectre when it wasn't there, looking for demons behind every corner when they weren't there. Cost this country millions of lives. Millions of lives. It is not you 14 years ago that had to be in those hospitals, that have to see those sores on the bodies of your family. And slowly we got there. We got there. We got there, and now we have those ARVs. And now we're dealing with an Nyope problem where people turn the ARVs into drugs. But we got there without your help and your expertise.
Beware if you live in a homogenous country. Beware if you live in a country where everybody's the same race, because you've heard about this thing called racism. You jump to a heterogeneous country such as the USA or South Africa and you play with those words. You are playing with demons there. You are putting your foot into water that is so deep that you've never learned to swim into. You have no idea of the consequences. It caused HIV AIDS, which then caused TB, which then caused a drug problem. That is how that can snowball. But you consider yourselves wise. I have seen consistently how it is people from homogenous countries who immigrate to heterogeneous countries and play the race game. It was someone from a homogenous country that played the race game and started the whole colored versus colored controversy that South Africa and America got into. It was a black person from a homogenous country that backed up Tom Curry when he was lying about Bongi Mbonabe. It was. And he was used as the token black guy. And you think about the immediate effects of what you do. You think about the small, immediate payoff. You have no idea what you're playing with there when you play with that spirit. Nothing but a hatred of that spirit is going to get us out of the shit. Reversing the dichotomy is unwise. I know that because I was born in perfect racism and now live in the best example of democracy. I didn't say a perfect example, but the best we've got. Those who have ears, listen. Those who have eyes, see. Please see. Nuance with Nikki, the nitty gritty, even if it's shitty. The full videos on my channel. The link will be in the description. Thank you for joining. I know this won't be easy to swallow the first time. Let it sink in. Thank you.